Hey there, the Dapper Dinosaur here. Most of you have probably seen my collaboration with FTFE, and if you haven't, well, there's going to be a link to it. So check that out before you watch this. This video is a continuation of my part of that collaboration, because I stopped after Eric Hovind's fifth reason for believing in a global flood, or a worldwide flood. So here I'm going to go through reasons 4, 3, 2, and 1. I hope you enjoy it.
Number 4, oopart.
Oopart.
We're just making up words now. That's all we're doing. And this is a real scientific made-up word.
Well, it is made up, but it's not scientific.
Real scientific
made-up.
Oopart.
Yes.
It stands for out-of-place artifact. This is what they call it when fossils are out of place.
Wait, if it's out of place fossils, wouldn't it be oofarts and not ooparts? I'm confused.
Now, remember, scientists say this layer was so many millions of years old, and this layer, and this layer, and this layer. But we have a problem. Let me give you an example.
Yeah, what's an example of some oopart?
Coal.
Coal is
supposedly 250 million years ago that was made.
Correct.
A brass bell that was made by man, which only existed at the most 3 million years ago, according to evolutionists. Yeah. We find a brass bell inside of coal.
You know, I tried to research this bell to find out what the deal was, and it turns out it was, quote, discovered by Newton Anderson in 1944. But there's a problem. There isn't any evidence that this bell was actually found in coal. All we have to go on is the word of the discoverer. And that's not worth anything, because people like to make up sensational stories in order to give themselves fame and fortune. Just look at all the crystal skulls. No, not the one from Indiana Jones. That one was even worse. The other ones. The, quote, real ones that are all real in the sense that they actually exist, but they're also hoaxes. There's no reason to think that this bell is anything other than a hoax.
Number 3, Mount St. Helens. In 1980, Mount St. Helens was about to erupt. Scientists cleared the area and said, heads up, we're about to see something amazing here. And it was the first time we got to witness and observe a huge catastrophic event. Guess what the event gave us lots of evidence of?
Worldwide flood, WWF.
Let me explain that. WWF, a worldwide flood. It actually, the landslide blocked off the Toutle River, and the river backed up for several weeks. Once the river created a small lake and breached the dam that had been created by the landslide, it actually created a miniature Grand Canyon in just a few days, showing that those huge erosion features don't take long periods of time to form. They actually take a catastrophic event to take place.
No one has ever suggested that erosional features cannot arise rapidly in the event of catastrophes. Modern geology doesn't ignore floods and volcanic eruptions and earthquakes. It takes them into account and just simply says that the geological processes of modern catastrophes work the same way as catastrophes we see in the geological record in the past. Further, Bryce Canyon is very little like the Grand Canyon. Notice how the walls are very straight, they don't have tributaries going in. The canyon itself is almost a complete straight line. That's because floods carve out narrow, relatively straight canyons, whereas the Grand Canyon is meandering and extremely wide. These are very different erosional features. Not all erosion events are the same. And in fact, the Grand Canyon has been eroding for so long, it's not an erosion event, it's an erosion process.
Indications of a
worldwide flood, a global flood. Number 2, Legends of the Flood. Charles Martin has a book called Flood Legends.
Great book.
Eric, he doesn't talk about 1, 2, 6, or 8. Over 300 different cultures around the world have a flood-like story that reflects the account in the book of Genesis.
Lots of cultures have stories about things that happen. Humans like to settle in low-lying areas with water. All of the first cities in human civilization were built on rivers. Rivers flood sometimes. That's it. There's no other explanation that you need other than sometimes humans experience floods, and they tell stories about it.
The worldwide flood. And the number 1, drum roll please, the number 1 reason we believe in the worldwide flood is because God's word is the best evidence of the worldwide flood.
Look, I'm not here to talk about whether or not the Bible is a religious authority or should be your source for spiritual guidance. But I'm going to just read Genesis 30, 37 through 39 as an example of maybe why you don't want to get your science straight out of the Bible, including Genesis. Here we go.
And Jacob took him rods of green poplar, and of the hazel and chestnut tree, and pilled white stakes in them, and made the white appear which was in the rods. And he set the rods which he had pilled before the flocks in the gutters, in the watering troughs, when the flocks came to drink, that they should conceive when they came to drink. And the flocks conceived before the rods, and brought forth cattle, ring-straked, speckled, and spotted.
So, you see, Jacob cleverly, having already agreed that the speckled, spotted, and ringed goats would be his, put striped sticks near where the goats were drinking, so that way they would produce more striped offspring. And according to Genesis, that worked. But we know that's not how genetics works. So, yeah, maybe don't take the Bible as a science book, because it was never really intended that way, and even if it were, it's really bad at it. Well, anyway, thank you for watching. That is the rest of the top 10 reasons. Depending on when you watch this, you should be getting ready for my subscriber count special on the 20th. Originally it was going to be 500 subscribers, then it was going to be 750 subscribers, but now I'm at over 800, so hey, who knows, maybe it'll be a 1,000 subscriber special. Probably not, though. I'll still probably call it like a 750. I don't know. Either way, thank you for watching. If you like this video, or you really hate it, why don't you click the subscribe button down below, and then hit the bell icon so that you'll always be notified when I have new content. Thanks again, and I'm the Dapper Dinosaur.